The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of Lexington Community Radio or its board of directors. The views expressed are solely those of the programmers.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break.
You are listening to Off the Cuff. Now, here's your host, Adam Banks.
With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room with.
Welcome, everybody, to Off the Cuff. I am Adam Banks, coming at you live from Lexington, Kentucky. Thank you for listening to the show, and thank you for tuning in to WLXU 93.9 FM. In addition to listening on the radio, you can check out our Facebook live stream at Off the Cuff with Adam Banks, or you can stream the show live from the station website at radiolex.us to listen to us from anywhere in the entire world. I am broadcasting from the Deborah Hensley Studios here at Radio Lex on North Limestone. It is October the 30th, 2025, and ladies and gentlemen, this is a big episode for Off the Cuff with Adam Banks, because this very episode is episode 600 of Off the Cuff with Adam Banks. Almost 12 years ago, I started this show, March the 1st, 2014. We celebrate 600 episodes today here on Off the Cuff with Adam Banks. We are just a day away from Halloween. So we've got a lot of spooky Halloween topics to go over, to get to. We've got a fun celebration to get to today, and I'm very excited. As timing would have it, not only is Off the Cuff celebrating 600 episodes this week, as timing would have it, I get to celebrate it down in Nashville, Tennessee at the Grand Ole Opry, because this weekend, this Sunday, is the 11th annual Josie Music Awards, where Off the Cuff with Adam Banks has been nominated for the second year in a row for Radio Show of the Year. Last year, I was unsuccessful with taking home the hardware, but you know what, folks? I have a really good feeling about this year. Off the Cuff with Adam Banks won Show of the Year at the 2025 Lexies. So let's hope that the success continues and the momentum continues this weekend at the Josies. It's an international award show. One of those things, man, people ask all the time. They're like, what's bigger? Is it the Lexies? Is it the Josies? I don't really like answering that question, because it really just depends on what the award means to you. Obviously, Lexington award shows mean a lot because it's a local, and to be included beside all of your peers in a local community is awesome. But man, there's just something special about being nominated for an international show. There are other nominees that are in my category that aren't even in the country. They're from out of the country. So it's an international award show where people in this category, there's 10 of us in the same category, and we're all vying for that one spot to being the radio show of the year. I have a good feeling about Off the Cuff with Adam Banks this year. What you're hearing in the background is the first song that listeners of Off the Cuff ever heard when this show started. This was a random song choice. Nothing went behind it, nothing went into it. I had to pick a song really quick to come into to intro the show when I was first getting started, and this just so happened to be what I picked. And 12 years later, it just seems fitting just to have this very song play in the background as Off the Cuff celebrates its 600th episode. And folks, during monumental shows like this, it makes me reflect. It makes me jump back into the time machine and think about all of the previous episodes that I have done here on this show. 600 episodes is a lot. And really, on shows like this, I like to dive way back into the day. I like to go way back into the archives. This show didn't start broadcasting on the radio until 2019. So there was about 5 years worth of episodes that the radio audience never even got to listen to. So if you're not a podcast listener at all, there are episodes of Off the Cuff that you didn't even know existed. listed. Now, all of our episodes are available on podcast, even our radio shows. But on monumental episodes like this, I like to jump back into the time machine, and I have compiled a collaboration of episodes over the last 600 episodes of Off the Cuff, and I've just taken little snippets every 100 episodes from each of those episodes and compiled them into a nice little clip. And I want to play that for the audience. And one of the things that really just kind of fascinates me about this clip is how much the audio has improved, the production of this show. I mean, it sounded like this when you listen to the beginning of these clips, when you're listening to episode 1 and 50 and 100, it really sounds like I recorded this show with just an old tape recorder in a tin can. It's so unprofessional. And you'll notice the evolving of the show as the years go on. The production quality, the talent of the show, my experience with doing the show, it's just evolved over the last 600 episodes. So let's jump back into the time machine, folks, and let's go back and listen to some clips that have been around for the last 600 episodes. Take a listen. We'll start back in episode 1 of Off the Cuff with Adam Banks, and we'll go all the way to episode 550, and we'll stop it there. But I want to jump back in the time machine and let you listen at some clips of me talking here on each episode of Off the Cuff, starting with episode 1 all the way up to the episode we are now. Take a listen.
And eventually we're going to have our own email and everything. We're just going to wait and see how big this thing gets and how big it blows up.
Well, we would love for you to respond. Negatively or positively, either way.
Absolutely, yeah. Just let us know what you think. Give us the negative and the positive feedback, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you for listening. This has been Adam Banks with Off the Cuff. Thank you, Nelly, for joining me tonight. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you for listening to the 50th episode. We'll be back with the 51st episode next week, regular time, regular schedule. And it's just going to be a lot of fun, and we'll keep it going. And hopefully bigger things are coming. We're going to make the 2nd year anniversary even bigger. And there's going to be better. Imagine what we could talk about a year from now.
Oh, wow. There's no telling.
It's untelling. So, exciting things to come.
That's right.
We'll see you later. I'm hurting, baby. So, but Nelly 100 episode.
Pretty awesome.
We just wrapped
Pretty
it up.
Awesome.
100 episodes. You know, I hope to have you around for 100 more.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think it's pretty great.
I think it's pretty great. Well, Nelly, thank you for doing it. It's been awesome. It's been awesome. I would like for you to respond. This is your turn. This is your moment to respond.
Oh, thank you. I agree with you. I'm so excited to be working with you and being here all this time.
Sound like you mean it.
I do.
And grabbing my butt. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you later in episode 101. Woo! Nothing too crazy to talk about. Nothing too much I want to touch on. Really, I just wanted to take this opportunity for the fans, or to thank my fans and to thank the listeners of the show for making this podcast what it is. I hope to keep making this podcast as entertaining with every single episode that we do. And without you guys, there would be no show. There would be no podcast, because what's the point of me talking into this microphone if nobody is going to listen to what I have to say? But ladies and gentlemen, it has been so much fun. And thank you for another successful year, another successful season. And we will see you back with episode 151 with a lot of content, a lot of material, a lot of guests, a lot of exciting things happening in season 4. I promise you that. And I look forward to seeing you and talking with you about how good things were when we get to episode 200. But ladies and... All right, man.
What has guided the focus of the show over the years?
With any successful radio show, any successful podcast, one has to evolve. If you don't evolve, you're going to become boring. And Off the Cuff is just going through the natural motions of a good podcast. It starts off as a very silly, it's still silly, don't get me wrong, because I'm silly, but it started off as just a very much, it was like what you would hear two people talk about being slap happy at 3 o'clock in the morning is what the show kind of was the first 25. But when I started getting more views and I actually took a moment and said, wow, people are actually listening to what I say, I don't want to lose that because I'm building an audience. I'm building myself a platform to be heard. And I didn't want them to be scared away by just being bored with my silliness. So I did start just incorporating more serious issues. I talk about things like gun control. I talk about things like gay marriage. I talk about things like, the election. I talk about those things on this show. But it's done nothing but grow the audience.
The man who has literally built a podcast for 200 episodes with his bare hands, Adam Banks.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for tuning in for another episode of Off the Cuff, episode 300. It's a big one. I mean, it truly is a big one, and I can't believe that it's here already, and we'll be back for episode 300. So make sure that you listen to all previous episodes of Off. Well, happy anniversary to the greatest talk radio show on the air.
Happy birthday to the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Thank you very much for saying that. I hope more people can say that as well. I started this show as a podcast back in March of 2014. March the 1st, 2014, as a matter of fact. And so far, we have created 347 total episodes of the podcast. But today is the 89th radio broadcast.
Wow.
Yeah, April 18th will actually mark 2 years that this has been a radio show. So much has evolved since March the 1st, 2014. Today is Off the Cuff's 400th episode.
400 episodes of awesome.
400 episodes, it's a lot. I feel like that's a big landmark for the show.
That's a huge landmark.
Now, we've only been on the radio for about 150 of those broadcasts.
Oh, only 150. I love that.
But if you look at the overall just franchise of this show from where it first started back on March the 1st, 2014, and you look at the whole journey of where it is now, it's quite unbelievable to think of where this show started and where it is now. And I love the climb. I love the journey. That's the best part about it all. People ask, well, that's a long time to do something. Well, what I love about Off the Cuff is it didn't just become an overnight sensation.
No.
We had to grow into this sensation that it is.
Growing into people's hearts.
It is a very special episode because this is the 500th episode of Off the Cuff with Adam Banks. Folks, 10 years ago, almost 10 years ago, on March the 1st, 2014, I started this show, Off the Cuff, coming out to this very music right here, Pharrell by Happy. And it's hard to believe when you really sit down to think about it that it's almost been 10 years. We're averaging about, I would say, 50 episodes per year. So 10 years later, add all of that up, you have 500 episodes. And folks, it has been a journey. This is a monumental weekend for Off the Cuff with Adam Banks because, believe it or not, this weekend, this show marks the 10-year anniversary of Off the Cuff with Adam Banks. It really amazes me that a decade has went by. I started this show on March the 1st, 2014, sitting on my couch with an iPhone 4. And I started broadcasting these ridiculous episodes and putting them at the time when I was putting these episodes on the internet, I didn't even have them on Spotify. I didn't have them on Apple Podcast. They were just on a random website. Now, of course, I eventually got the show transitioned into Apple Podcast, into Spotify, but it was a couple of years of me doing this before that even happened. And since going from a podcast to a radio show, things have changed leaps and bounds for this show. It's been taken a lot more serious. We have completely just doubled our audience. And there you go, folks. That is the compilation of the last 600 episodes, and now we're live. This is episode 600, and what I love about that clip is you can go back and you can listen to how rough around the edges the show really was, and how green that I was, and you heard some old voices that you've heard in the past, but that is what this show is all about. It's got a history. It's a franchise. It's got a story, and I want to thank everyone who has been listening from day one, and even the people who have joined year after year after year. Thank you so much for being a part of the Off the Cuff with Adam Banks family. 600 episodes. I've had a blast doing it, and hopefully the cherry on top for this celebration will be taking home Radio Show of the Year at this year's 2025 Josie Music Awards. Folks, we have a great show ahead of you today. You are listening to Off the Cuff with Adam Banks. Stick with us. We will be right back.
I was working in the lab late one night when my eyes beheld an eerie sight. For my monster from his slab began to rise, and suddenly, to my surprise,
welcome back, everybody, to Off the Cuff. Adam Banks here with you. This is episode 600. Halloween is just around the corner. Tomorrow, as a matter of fact, is October the 31st. I love Halloween. It's one of my favorite holidays. It's the time of the year where you can watch scary movies all the time. They've got the scary marathons on. They've got TV shows, movies. They've got music out. They've got decorations. People like to go out and trick-or-treat. Speaking of trick-or-treating, it will take place in Fayette County on Halloween from 6 to 8. To all of you kiddos out there, remember to wear something bright, whether that be some type of necklace or some type of vest, to make sure people can see you. It is dark. A lot of nonsense does go on Halloween, so be mindful of the drunk people out there, the people out there causing chaos. Just be mindful and be safe. But I do love Halloween, and we've talked about so many different Halloween topics on this show before. We've talked about some of the best openings to scary movies, some of the best endings, some of the best horror scenes. Last year on the show, we talked about some of the best Halloween theme music that come from TV shows. The year before that, we talked about some of the best Halloween theme music that come from horror movies. Well, since tomorrow is Halloween, and it is one of my favorite times of the year, I would like to do another Halloween topic, and I would like to talk about the music on Halloween, and I want to talk about the music for the holiday itself. Can you get more Halloween than this song right here, Monster Mash? This song was played at every school party in middle school, elementary school. You grew up listening to this song, the Monster Mash. This particular song actually inspired a movie that come out in 1995. It's called the Monster Mash movie. This music was performed by Bobby Boris Pickett, and this actually became a #1 hit in the United States around this time. That's how popular this song is. So, since it is Halloween tomorrow, I would like to do a topic where I talk about the best Halloween songs that came from movies. Now, in this particular segment, I want to talk about songs that came from movies, Halloween songs that come from movies. So we're not just talking about a song about Halloween. We're actually talking about songs that got famous from different Halloween movies or different horror movies. And I started the show talking about Monster Mash. It really didn't come from a movie, but it inspired a movie. So I'm not really going to include that on my list, but I thought it was a great intro song. So these particular songs, folks, are the best Halloween songs that came from movies. And anybody who's looking to put together a Halloween playlist while the kids are out trick-or-treating, this would be good songs to add to your playlist. So we'll start the list with this song right here. It's called This Is Halloween. And this particular song come from the movie The Nightmare Before Christmas, which was released in 1993. And no, they wouldn't consider The Nightmare Before Christmas a Christmas movie. It is definitely a Halloween movie, hence the title The Nightmare Before Christmas. This song is a great song that come from a movie because it's a dark song. It kicks off the movie's spooky world. You can't build a Halloween playlist without this song on it. Now, when we're talking about songs specifically made for Halloween, this is one of the best songs out there, specifically written about the holiday.
Like snakes and spiders in my hair. This is Halloween, this is Halloween, 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 Halloween.
All right, coming up next on the list, folks, as one of the best Halloween songs that came from a movie, we're going to have to put Ghostbusters on the list. This song, called Ghostbusters, come from the 1984 film Ghostbusters, written by Ray Parker Jr. This song is instantly recognizable from the very first note. This is a Grammy-nominated track, and it became a pop culture phenomenon.
If there's something strange in your neighborhood,
and it's got a very catchy hook. Who you gonna call? Ghostbusters. It still gets crowds shouting back decades later.
Who you gonna call?
This song, it's upbeat, it's funky, and it's fun. Rather than really scary, it's a perfect Halloween party song.
Afraid of no ghosts. I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
Okay, coming up next, folks, is the song Casper the Friendly Ghost from the film Casper.
Casper, the friendly ghost, the friendliest ghost you know.
Say what you want to about the movie Casper. It was an amazing movie, and yes, it would be considered a Halloween movie. It's about a ghost. The most famous ghost of all time, Casper. He certainly is a friendly, cute ghost. The movie Casper was released in 1995. It's also includes this original song written by Little Richard. This film's playful theme, it matches Casper's kind-hearted spirit. It's a softer side of Halloween that's nostalgic for all of us 90 kids out there. Little Richard's soulful voice, it gives this song an upbeat rock and roll charm while keeping the ghostly vibe alive. I do love Casper. I see that it's on Netflix. I have yet to watch it. Maybe that might be my Halloween movie tomorrow. They were going to do a Casper 2 after the success of the first film, but Christina Ricci, who played the girl from Casper, declined to come back, so they created a very cheap sequel to the movie starring Hilary Duff. It was terrible. But the original Casper was amazing, and so was the theme. All right, this next theme, folks, is very recognizable, and this is one of the best Halloween songs that came from a movie. And I'm going to put a little parentheses in there because this particular song came from a movie/TV show, but it was eventually made into a movie, so it counts on the list. This is from The Addams Family, which they had two movies, The Addams Family and The Addams Family Values.
They're creepy and they're kooky, mysterious and spooky. They're all together ooky, the Addams Family. Their house is a museum where people come to
This
see 'em.
song was composed by Vic Mizzy.
The Addams Family.
It's instantly recognizable. Snap, snap. Just from the snap of the fingers alone, you can tell what this is from.
So get a witch your shawl on.
The TV show was great, and very rarely can they make a movie as good as what the original TV show of something is, but this movie succeeded. The movie, The Addams Family, was so good. And Christina Ricci, I was talking about her being the little girl from Casper. She was also Wednesday in the Addams Family movies. I love this theme right here. And it's got great lyrics.
They're creepy and they're kooky.
All right, folks. Coming up next on the list as one of the best Halloween songs that came from a movie is this song right here. It's called Pet Sematary. And this come from the movie Pet Sematary, a Stephen King classic from 1989. This song is performed by the Ramones. This song was released with the movie. It was an original song wrote for the movie. This is kind of where punk meets horror. Okay, coming up next, folks, is from the movie Hocus Pocus. This song is called I Put a Spell on You. It's an original song for the movie Hocus Pocus, released in 1993. This is performed by Bette Midler, and she owns this song. She owns it. She turns this classic blues song into a Halloween showstopper. It's theatrical, it's spellbinding, and it's full of energy. It's a total crowd pleaser. I Put a Spell on You from Hocus Pocus. Now listen here. I have a confession. Yes, I like Halloween, but I have never seen Hocus Pocus. I tried to watch it, couldn't get into it. And the same thing goes with Beetlejuice. Just not my cup of tea.
I put a spell on you, and now you're gone. My whammy fell on you.
Okay, I've got one more for the audience. And this is from the Rocky Horror Picture Show, a movie that was released in 1975. The song is called Time Warp. And this was performed by Richard O'Brien. It was released in 1975 along with the movie. If you watch the movie credits, you will hear this song roll in the background as the credits roll. It's a cult classic. And it's the ultimate audience participation song. It's upbeat, it's theatrical, and just plain weird in the best way to say. But it's a great Halloween song that came from a Halloween movie.
The blackness would hit me, and the void would be calling.
And that, folks, pretty much wraps up my list as some of the best Halloween songs that came from movies. Of course, there are more that I didn't have time to include on the list. I love Halloween. It's one of my favorite times of the year. It is a lot of fun. Now, a lot of people, they look at me sideways when I say that, because a lot of people will say, Adam, aren't you a Christian? Aren't Christians supposed to be against Halloween? Listen, I'm not out here celebrating Halloween in some type of demonic way. I'm celebrating it because I like to watch scary movies. Is there anything wrong with that? It has nothing to do with the dark side of Halloween or anything like that. I just do enjoy the holiday. But folks, we still have lots more Off the Cuff with Adam Banks coming your way right after these words. Stick with us. We'll be right back.
Spooky, scary skeletons and shivers down your spine. Shrieking skulls will shock your soul, seal your doom tonight.
Welcome back, everybody, to Off the Cuff. Adam Banks here with you. We are celebrating Halloween, which is just a few hours away. Midnight officially kicks off the Halloween holiday. October 31st, a lot of things get swept under the rug when a major event happens on Halloween because of the holiday. So I started to look at some famous events that took place on October 31st, which is Halloween, and quite a lot of few things happened on October the 31st throughout history. For instance, on October 31st, Halloween, 1864, is when Nevada was admitted as the 36th state of the Union. Without Nevada, we would have no Las Vegas. Also, on Halloween in 1918, the Spanish flu kills 21,000 people in the U.S. in a single week. Man, COVID was bad. But don't forget about the Spanish flu that killed 21,000 people in the United States alone in 1 week. Also on Halloween back in 1981, the first live U.S. radio drama in 25 years premiered on NBC Radio. It was called The Halloween Story on NBC. Also, on Halloween, back in 2010, the post-apocalyptic zombie TV series The Walking Dead premieres on AMC. Pretty good day to premiere a scary show like The Walking Dead. I mean, what better day than Halloween? Also on Halloween in 2011 is when the world population reaches 7 billion inhabitants, according to the United Nations. On Halloween, October 31st, 2022 is when Taylor Swift becomes the first artist in history to claim all top 10 slots on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100 and all tracks from her album Midnights. So those are some major events that happened on Halloween that kind of just gets swept under the rug because of the holiday. Folks, since it is Off the Cuff's 600th radio broadcast, for Off the Cuff's Song of the Week, we're going to have a celebration song. That's why we're going to play I Just Want to Celebrate by Rare Earth. We'll be back after the song. Before we took Off the Cuff's Song of the Week break, I was talking about some historical events that happened on October 31st throughout history. Well, I would also like to continue that conversation just a tad because there are also some eerie things that happened on Halloween, and some of those things really wasn't eerie. For instance, Taylor Swift becoming the #1 artist, not really eerie. Nevada being admitted to the Union, not very eerie. Here, there are some actual creepy, eerie things that happen on Halloween. Real, true life stories, events that took place that would be considered a topic for a Halloween movie. And here are some eerie things that actually happened on Halloween. 4 eerie things that actually happened on October 31st, the actual day of Halloween. Here's one. The War of the Worlds broadcast the night before Halloween in 1938. And that happened on Halloween Eve. And it was on CBS radio programming. And they got an eerie interruption. Nobody knew this was going to happen. And there was an interruption on the radio, and it says, "Ladies and gentlemen, Martians have invaded New Jersey." At the time, the pre-Halloween allusion to the extraterrestrial that was out there, it caused mass hysteria for thousands of listeners around the country. People that listened to radio back then took it so serious. That's where they got their news. So when they had this unannounced radio scripted drama that was supposed to be on CBS radio, a lot of people thought it was real. A lot of people thought the world was being taken over by aliens. So on October 31st in 1938, the world was in mass hysteria, thinking that aliens have landed and they were getting ready to take over the world. Very eerie. Here's another eerie thing. The famous illusionist Harry Houdini, he died on Halloween in 1926 after suffering a ruptured appendix. He is this famous illusionist. A lot of people said he was magic. And a lot of people say that magic stuff is very dark, and it's a dark side, and it's something that people shouldn't mess with. And it was just kind of very ironic that, and very eerie, you might say, that the famed illusionist Harry Houdini died on Halloween back in 1926. Here's another eerie thing that happened on Halloween in 1974. An 8-year-old Timothy O'Brien, he ate poison candy and it killed him. And the culprit had an even more eerie motive. It says here that Timothy O'Brien began snacking on his candy after a night of trick-or-treating in Deer Park, Texas. However, his candy had been poisoned and O'Brien passed away. To make the nightmare even worse, it was his own father who had poisoned him, seeing it as the perfect opportunity to cash in on his son's life insurance. Not only is that eerie, I mean, that's pretty disgusting. That's pretty dark. That's the epitome of evil for a dad. And then finally, here's another eerie thing that happened on the actual day of Halloween. This happened in 1963. An accidental propane gas explosion at an ice skating exhibition in Indiana caused 74 deaths and left 400 people injured. The aftermath of the propane gas explosion, it says, was absolutely horrific. Not long after 11 p.m. on Halloween in 1963, while skaters were completing their final routine of the night, gas that had been leaking from a concession area caused an explosion. The floor caved in, creating a massive crater. The accident led to 74 deaths and 400 people injured. Absolutely horrific and very eerie. So be watchful out there, folks. Halloween, yeah, some people do say it's kind of a cursed day. Now, I don't believe that. I think it's just another day. It kind of falls in the same category as Friday the 13th to me. You got to have October 31st before you have November 1st. You have to have Friday the 13th before you have Saturday the 14th. So it's just another day on the calendar, but there may be something to it. There may be something to it, folks. So just be mindful and watchful and take care of yourself tomorrow on the actual day of Halloween. We do have one more segment to go, folks. Stick with us. We'll be right back.
I remember when we broke up the first time, saying this is it, I've had enough. Cause like we hadn't seen each other in a month when you said you needed space.
Welcome back, everybody, to Off the Cuff. Last segment of the hour. Adam Banks here with you. Today's national holiday is National Text Your Ex Day. Every year on October the 30th is National Text Your Ex Day. Now, whether you did the breaking up or you were broken up with, today is the day to put all those differences aside and text your ex. Now, a lot of people are thinking that's not a good idea. Well, I'm not going to argue with you very long because there is a reason, most likely, that they are an ex. But you have to remember, folks, at one point in your life, your ex, whoever it was, had a special place in your life, had a special place in your heart. A lot of people date for a long time. A lot of people spend months, years in a relationship. And that's a big portion of your life. A lot of your memories, a lot of your vacations, your days were spent with this person. And sometimes when we break up, we never talk to them again. It's like a person didn't even exist. And it doesn't have to be that way. There's no hidden rule that says you have to not get along with your ex or you are supposed to hate your ex. So push through that hard time or whatever that past might have been with your ex and give them a text. Here are some nasty breakups that happen throughout time. These, honestly, I don't think you could get any nastier. For instance, in 1536, Anne Boleyn, the second wife of King Henry V, was beheaded after he accused her of treason. However, the unfortunate truth is because she wasn't able to give birth to a male heir, so he just had her executed. Here's another bad breakup. In 1837, Abraham Lincoln had jokingly agreed to an acquaintance that he would marry her sister, Mary Owens, after she noticed how heartbroken he was from the death of his late love interest. When Owens then arrived in town thinking she was engaged, Abraham Lincoln had to write a very awkward letter telling her she would not like living in the state capital, so they wouldn't be a good match. Well, even Abe had lady problems. Here's another nasty breakup in 1996. It was Splitsville for Princess Diana and Prince Charles. That was a big divorce. One of the biggest divorces of the 90s was that divorce right there. That's when Prince Charles cheated on Diana. It was a big scandal. And he ended up marrying the woman who he's married to today, the Queen, as a matter of fact. Queen Camilla, I believe is her name. And here's another one. It says here that in 2014, Nick Cannon and Mariah Carey got a divorce. And what makes this one so bad is because they both tattooed their name across their backs. So, yeah, don't do tattoos when you're just dating somebody. If you're going to tattoo one of your lover's names on your body, let it be a spouse, at least. I wouldn't recommend it at all, but at least make sure that there's some type of commitment from the other party before you go tattooing their name on you. Here's some more bad breakups. You've got the Tiger Woods breakup that he had with his wife. Remember that horrible breakup? I doubt he's texting his ex today. There was the interview that Oprah did with Matt Damon. Matt Damon reported he was single and he didn't realize that his girlfriend was watching the show at the time, and she learned with the rest of the world that they weren't dating. And then here's another bad one. Arnold Schwarzenegger and his wife, after 25 years of marriage to Maria Shriver, she found out that he had been unfaithful and fathered an illegitimate child. They're now divorced. So a lot of bad breakups have happened. I can understand why people might not want to text their exes. It might not be on the top of your bingo card for today. It might not be on the top of the list of things you want to do. But if you did have any ounce of love for that person in your life, try to focus on that. Don't focus on the bad things, and try to focus on the good times that you had. So happy National Text Your Ex Day. Folks, this is a big episode of Off the Cuff with Adam Banks. I want to thank everybody for tuning in over the last 600 episodes. Hopefully, I'll be taking away some hardware at this weekend's Josie Music Awards. I plan on going down on Saturday, checking into my hotel. It's a weekend event. The award show will be on Sunday, and they will not televise the award show live that night, but they will have it on television on a streaming service. And I will let all of the audience know how they can stream the award show if you want to tune in to watch that. But I will keep you posted on all social, especially if I win. I won't be able to keep my excitement in. I will let you know how the results go as they come in. But again, thank you guys so much. I've got to get out of here for now because I've got a lot of traffic to beat. I plan on going to the UK exhibition game. The Cats start their season this coming Tuesday, the first game of the season. Quite exciting. I really do think we have a Final Four team in the works. But folks, again, thank you for listening to another episode of Off the Cuff with Adam Banks. If you liked what you heard today, you'll probably like our previous episodes. We archive them all on podcast, Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcast, or wherever you stream your podcast. You can follow the show on social media at Off the Cuff with Adam Banks. You can follow me, the host, on social media at The Adam Banks. We release new episodes every Thursday from 4 to 5 right here on WLXU 93.9 FM, which means we will be back same time, same place next week. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the King of Radio, Adam Banks, and this is Off the Cuff. Happy Halloween and happy 600 episodes. I will catch you down the road.